There can be no transforming of darkness into light, and of apathy into movement without emotion. I shall not commit the fashionable stupidity of regarding everything I cannot explain as a fraud. The healthy man does not torture others. Generally, it is the tortured who turn into torturers. Find out what a person fears most, and that is where he will develop next. When an inner situation is not made conscious, it appears outside as fate. Without this playing with fantasy, no creative work has ever yet come to birth. The debt we owe to the play of the imagination is incalculable. Loneliness does not come from having no people around you, but from being unable to communicate the things that seem important to you. Sometimes you have to do something unforgivable, just to be able to go on living. Midlife is the time to let go of an overdominant ego, and to contemplate the deeper significance of human existence. My whole being was seeking for something still unknown, which might confer meaning upon the banality of life. Nobody, as long as he moves among the chaotic currents of life, is without trouble. It all depends on how we look at things, and not how they are in themselves. Life really does begin at 40. Up until then, you are just doing research. The majority of my patients consisted not of believers, but of those who had lost their faith. We cannot change anything unless we accept it. Condemnation does not liberate, it oppresses. Faith, hope, love, and insight are the highest achievements of human effort. They are found given by experience. Often the hands will solve a mystery that the intellect has struggled with in vain. Intuition does not denote something contrary to reason, but something outside of the province of reason. A creative person has little power over his own life. He is not free. He is captive and driven by his daimon. When you are up against a wall, put down roots like a tree, until clarity comes from deeper sources to see over that wall and grow. The meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. Your visions will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakes. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Knowing your own darkness is the best method for dealing with the darknesses of other people. The pendulum of the mind oscillates between sense and nonsense, not between right and wrong. Every form of addiction is bad, no matter whether the narcotic be alcohol, morphine or idealism. People will do anything no matter how absurd to avoid facing their own souls. One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. As far as we can discern, the sole purpose of human existence is to kindle a light of meaning in the darkness of mere being. Where wisdom reigns, there is no conflict between thinking and feeling. How can I be substantial if I do not cast a shadow? I must have a dark side also if I am to be whole. Where love rules, there is no will to power, and where power predominates, love is lacking. The one is the shadow of the other. The shoe that fits one person pinches another. There is no recipe for living that suits all cases. The best political, social and spiritual work we can do is to withdraw the projection of our shadow onto others. The first half of life is devoted to forming a healthy ego, the second half is going inward and letting go of it. Wholeness is not achieved by cutting off a portion of one's being, but by integration of the contraries. Every human life contains a potential. If that potential is not fulfilled, then that life was wasted. Even a happy life cannot be without a measure of darkness, and the word happy would lose its meaning if it were not balanced by sadness. Anyone who attempts to do both, to adjust to his group and at the same time pursue his individual goal, becomes neurotic.